The opinions voiced in this show are for general information only and are not intended to provide specific advice or recommendations for any individual. To determine which investments may be appropriate for you, consult with your attorney, accountant, and financial advisor or tax advisor prior to investing. Investment advice offered through Fragasso Financial Advisors, a registered investment advisor.
Welcome to The Advisor, presented by Fragasso Financial Advisors. This is Marsha Posset, Marketing Manager at Fragasso and this radio show's producer. And I'm here today with our hosts, Bob Fragasso and Mike Furtick.
Hello, everyone.
Hello.
And in recognition of Veterans Day, today's topic is military veterans returning to the workplace and also pets for vets. And our special guests in the studio today are Joanne Moore, who is the Chief Programs Officer at Animal Friends, and Dr. Ben Stahl, who is the Executive Director of the Veterans Leadership Program. So welcome, Joanne and Ben, and please take a moment to talk to us about your organizations and your role there.
Thank you, Marsha. Animal Friends history is really very rich and steeped in a culture of care and compassion, and extraordinarily, at its core, veterans. You see, Animal Friends was formed about 70 years ago at the height of World War II, when there was a group of people, very caring people, who began placing animals that had been left by soldiers leaving for World War II, and they began placing them home to home. Back then, it was a file cabinet, a telephone, and a little office in the William Penn Hotel. And these folks just got together and did what they needed to do to support the people leaving for World War II. At the end of the war, the need was still there, and for the next 60 years, Animal Friends did amazing work placing animals out of our shelter in the Strip District. But we realized that so much more needed to happen. We weren't meeting the needs of the pet-owning community. And as difficult as it was to leave the Strip District, and as amazing as the work was that we were doing there, we needed to find a new home. And so now, in 2006, we moved out to the North Hills, where we have a 75-acre wooded campus that has 2 buildings on it, and we are wonderfully suited to take care of the animals, the dogs and cats and rabbits that come into our care. Our main building is our resource center, and in our resource center each year we see about 70,000 people. They're coming in to do all kinds of things, everything from relinquishing an animal that they may not be able to take care of any longer, or an animal that they have found. They may be coming to us to adopt, to add a family member to their group. They may be bringing their children for a birthday party or a summer camp. They may be coming with their pet to attend one of our classes. So there's so much going on in our resource center. In our second building, we opened just this summer, and that is our Animal Wellness Center. In our Animal Wellness Center, we are providing low-cost spay-neuter services, vaccine clinics, and other services for folks who may be having a struggle meeting and making ends meet. And so it's very targeted to a very specific community, and we want to open that up for folks who just need that extra helping hand. So we're very, very busy at Animal Friends, and as the Chief Program Officer, the programs that are directly related to our animal care as well as our human services filter through me.
Wonderful. And Ben?
Oh, absolutely. The mission of Veterans Leadership Program is to provide essential housing, employment, and vital supportive services to eligible veterans, service members, and their families to improve their self-sufficiency, sustainability, and quality of life. In 2016, VOP was able to provide services to over 2,500 veterans in Western Pennsylvania. And we've been there for our region's veterans for quite some time. VLP was founded in 1983 as the Vietnam Veterans Leadership Program. At that time, in 1983, some of the total unemployment rates in VLP's service delivery area reached nearly 30%. Recently, I've been fortunate enough to find a publication called An American Sunrise, the Vietnam Veterans Leadership Program. It's a history of the 3-year pilot initiative that was essentially created 47 Vietnam Veterans Leadership Programs throughout the country. Today, there's a Veterans Leadership Program of Western Pennsylvania and 2 other organizations that made it through these years, the Vietnam Veterans Leadership Program in Seattle and the Texas Veterans Leadership Program at Corpus Christi. In 2016, we relocated to the Strip District as Animal Friends were moving out. We were moving in, a decade lag, and we're happy now to have a larger space where we're able to provide direct services to the veterans that are receiving services through our programs. We were kind of cramped up in our former offices in the South Side. One of the other things that I gleaned while I was going through this history was that the leaders, the founders of Veterans Leadership Program, were not just veterans leaders in Western Pennsylvania. They were really the veterans leaders in the state of Pennsylvania, helping to secure land for the Vietnam Veterans Memorial that we have here in Pittsburgh and really drive home veterans advocacy in Pennsylvania. So I'm honored to serve in the role as executive director of this regional institution as we approach new challenges born by new conflicts, being very mindful of the sacrifices made by veterans who came before us, as long as not taking for granted the challenges they face to provide us with the infrastructure that we're able to work now to help get the veterans in Western Pennsylvania the supportive services and the supports that they need to successfully transition back into the civilian sector.
Wonderful. And Bob, can you take a moment to talk about the purpose of our show?
Our twin purposes have guided the show for all the time that we've been on air, and they are to provide helpful information as a guide in your financial journey and to bring expert opinion and analysis to you. However, you might quickly say, how does this set of topics relate to economic betterment? Certainly expert opinion on the topic is here, but what's economic betterment? Well, that'll be my challenge in just a couple of minutes to explain why this touches our economic betterment in our region. This is a Veterans Day weekend and week show, and so we'll say thank you for your service to our veterans. Thank you for your support to the families of veterans, and also happy birthday to the Marines, November 10th. Semper Fi.
And let me take a moment to remind folks that Fragasso Financial Advisors is primarily a fee-based investment management firm. We work on a platform of holistic financial planning, providing advice for individuals, retirement plans, foundations, and endowments. Our locations are in downtown Pittsburgh, our headquarters, then out in the South Hills in Bethel Park, and in the North Hills in Wexford. We are a team of certified financial planner practitioners, chartered financial analysts, accredited investment fiduciaries, and portfolio managers. In all, Fragasso employs about 50 professionals, ranging from financial advisors to the portfolio management team to our administrative, operational, and marketing and retirement plan services personnel.
And as we mentioned, today's topic is veterans returning to the workplace and pets for vets. So, Bob, are you ready for your challenge here?
I'm ready.
So this is a financial program, and why veterans and pets for vets today?
You're right. Both of the organizations titularly do not impact our listeners' finances. And by the way, both organizations are separate entities, not affiliated with each other or with Fragasso Financial Advisors, although we as a firm and individuals within our firm are committed to both organizations. Well, let's see if I can answer that question. Why this program, aside from the fact that it's Veterans Week? We are experiencing a shortage of qualified workers here in our area and nationally. The Allegheny Conference, on their website, will tell you that it's projected over the next decade to be a shortage in the tens of thousands of workers. And shale is only a part of that. All of our industries need qualified workers. There's several factors causing this. Unemployment nationally and locally each range between 4 and 5%. That's considered full employment. That's not a new concept. When I was new in business 50 years ago, 4 to 5% employment was considered full employment because at any time they're 4 to 5% of the willing population in flux. Our educational system educates. We've got one of the best in the world, but it doesn't typically teach marketable skills at the secondary and even post-secondary levels in many disciplines. Employers are finding it hard to locate potential employees with the right attitude and people skills. Well, military veterans, by nature of their service, present both job-specific skills and the right attitude toward work, customers, and fellow workers. The Bureau of Labor Statistics places unemployment among returning veterans the same as at the national levels. So most veterans come home prepared to enter the workforce. However, that masks the challenges that a minority of returning veterans face in acclimating to civilian life. We'll develop that more as we talk to Ben throughout the show. Pew Research study, it's called Baby Boomers Retire, dated 12/29/2010, estimates that 10,000 baby boomers will retire each day, and that's born between 45 and 64. And that's the largest generation living right now. 10,000 a day will retire each day for the next 19 years. Well, as baby boomers retire in increasing numbers, we will face an even tighter job pool from which to hire. I don't think it's a secret that there is a level of potential employees who don't have the job skills, who haven't been coached and brought into the mainstream. And so we will find through today's program the ways in which we can mitigate quite a bit of this. So I believe we're coming up on a break. I can't believe it happened that fast. Was I that windy and I didn't even finish my answer? All right, Marcia.
That's right. We'll be right back to pick up where we left off to further discuss veterans returning to the workplace and Pets for Vets. But before we do so, I want to remind our listeners that you can take part in our show, The Advisor. Submit your questions anytime on our website at fragasoadvisors.com/radio. And that's FRAGASSOADVISORS.com/radio. And you can also visit the radio resources section of the site for more information on Pets for Vets and some of the programs available for the Veterans Leadership Program. So I'll ask Ben to speak more about those in the next segment. So take advantage of this and many other free downloads on the radio page of Fragaso's website.
The opinions voiced in this show are for general information only and are not intended to provide specific advice or recommendations for any individual. To determine which investments may be appropriate for you, consult with your attorney, accountant, and financial advisor or tax advisor prior to investing. Investment advice offered through Fragasso Financial Advisors, a registered investment advisor.